Hey guys, thank you for tuning into the video today. Today we're just going to be going over my PvP setup for Guild v Guild and small scale PvP. I understand that some people have noticed in my live streams that my build is a little bit different from KR, so I'm just going to be going over that information as well. Alrighty, so to start things off, majority of it is the same, but there are some differences. For example, serial firebombs, I still use this one. I personally prefer this in 1v1, 3v3s, and small scale due to the fact that focused firebomb charge is very buggy and inconsistent. Just so you guys know, I'm going to go over skill specialization a little bit later in the video. We're using Charging Slash, Frost Smoke Screen, obviously Judgment Lightning because it's a phenomenal skill, Infernal Wave, Stunning Blow, Guillotine Blade. Some of the new ones is Will Breaker, as I'll get into detail why in the skill specialization part. Fireball Barrage, I love this skill, it's really great. Ice Tomb is a new one, and alongside Da Vinci's Courage and Victoria's Energy. So onto the passives, majority of it is the same. I did swap out Barbarian's Dash and Frostmaster for Cold Warrior. Personally, I think Cold Warrior is a really good pick just because it does increase your heavy attack chance and critical hit by a large margin. So overall, it's a pretty good passive. A passive that people do consider that could be good in the build is this one right here, as it offers mana regen. My personal opinion, standing still for 3 seconds in any type of small scale or even Guild v Guild content is kind of poor, as most of the time you are moving around and watching the enemy team anyways, so standing still isn't necessarily the best thing, but the 100 heavy attack chance is nice. So this is currently the setup I am rocking as for my small scale 3v3 1v1. Into the traits, the skill specialization, mobility for fireball, projectile speed, and instant casting. For Infernal Wave, we're rocking the burn, just so whenever an opponent is already burned, we can apply more stacks onto them. And obviously we're going to use the consecutive use for another chance to use the skill. Fireball Barrage just has Fireball Frenzy. I like this because it activates Mana Ball Eruption more often, and with heavy attack chance, this skill can do a good large amount of damage to players. Icebound Tomb. This is one of the new skills that I guess I'll get into now. The reason why I'm rocking this is for Ice Mirror. The one thing I really like about this is it lowers the opponent's melee range and magic invasion by 415, while also applying a slow. But the good thing about this is it combos very well into the next skill I'll get into after this. And then for the final passive trait, we are using Bind. So instead of a slow effect, we're just binding our opponents. And this also combos into another skill on the Greatsword. Okay. To start things off, the reason why we're using Will Breaker is, one, whenever we hit an opponent with this, it applies a weaken that decreases their melee range and magic defenses by 630. But we can also put the trait skill specialization that lowers the target's melee range and magic evasion by 300. So if we combo Ice Tomb into Will Breaker, we're lowering their evasion by 700 and their defense by 600. I mean, with Guillotine Blade, you can do like, I don't even know, like 15k sometimes with heavy attack chance. Another one is Charging Slash. Originally this was Ascending Slash, but I am trying out Charging Slash for the specific perk that this turns this into a dash ability that closes in on the target and knocks them down if they're affected by a bind, sleep, stun, or anything like that. And the cool thing with Ice Tomb is it is a ranged bind skill, so we can also use Charging Slash as a ranged way to close that distance and knock them down. It's actually quite strong, and the good thing about this is it goes through block They can perfect it, but if someone's holding a block, you can knock them out of block. That is due to the fact that it's a wrath skill, so just be aware of that. Forged traits, we're just doing effect duration and damage increased. Guillotine blade is just charge damage, as this makes this skill just hit so damn hard, like insanely hard. And then Da Vinci Courage, obviously, for instant healing and damage reduction. Stunning blow is a must for hit chance increase and effect duration. That is what I'm rocking for my small scale 3v3 at the moment. So for my Guild v Guild, this is kind of what I'm rocking. The passives are a majority the same. The only thing that's different is Barbarian's Dash. I like a little bit of mobility in Guild v Guild, so you can close the distance or get away if you need to, or pull back. You could swap this out. This is totally an option, but that's what I personally like right now. For my skills, majority of it is the same. There are a couple new additions to this though, which I'll go over real quick. Focus Firebomb, we're using this one instead, as in Guild v Guild, we just want to make sure we're doing as much AoE splash damage as much as possible with the Greatsword staff combo. And this does hit very hard. We're also adding in Chain Lightning for just that additional damage AoE. Instead of Stunning Blow, we are using Devastating Smash. The reason why I like to use Devastating Smash is for the AoE stun. Granted, mine is only blue and needs to be leveled up to purple to be more usable, but this is a really good skill for Guild v Guild to control CC. And the other skill that's new is Redemptive Barrier, as why we're using this is a little bit more survivability in those large skirmishes with Guild v Guild. It really does help, as what it does, Redemptive Barrier, what it does is when you proc it, it gives you a barrier that procs around you, but whatever damage you take, it will affect your mana instead of your HP. So think of it as like a good way to survive in those moments where you're getting attacked by like 4 people. It can provide really good support. Just note that you can run out of your mana. And then for our other skill, instead of Victorious Energy, we're using High Focus. And the reason why we're using this is for the cooldown speed and movement speed. In Guild v Guild content, you're definitely going to want to spam your skills more often than like getting a little bit of hit chance or evasion. And also the movement speed is just a good bonus overall. So what's one thing I would recommend is definitely using High Focus. For the skill specialization, mobility, radius increased, so this makes it get bigger splash damage, and Focus Firebomb. Infernal Wave is just the same. Chain Lightning gets damage transfer and damage, no damage reduction off of it. Judgment Lightning also has damage transfer. So normally this skill is called Salvation Chain, but when you put this on, it changes it to Redemptive Barrier. And High Focus just is good because we want to get that base damage increase by 45, which is really nice. For Great Swords, majority of it is the same, but keeping the 2 on Da Vinci's Courage. Will Breaker, we are also using the evasion decrease, but we are also changing it into a damage area effect instead. So instead of it swinging like a forward slash, it's going to be doing an AoE around you that are 3 meters, which you can extend with range. And then for the final skill would be Devastating Smash. What we're trying to do is increase our stun chance by 15% and the effect of stun by 0.5%. This is what I'm kind of using for Guild v Guild, and it's kind of like a trial and error thing until I figure out what's better and what could be used more in this content. But a good option could be Infernal Meteor, but in my personal opinion, this is a little bit better for sieges and not as much for Guild v Guild, due to the long charging time. But yeah, so I've been practicing with Guild v Guild and trying to figure out what is the best option, and so far this is what I've come with. This is a work in progress, and I'm continuing to try and improve this so it plays a little bit better. But yep, that is what I've been using for small scale and Guild v Guild content. I will have a PvE video out soon going over what I use for PvE, but stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys watching the video. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.